What's going on, y'all? It's Lloyd, man. I'm checking in with EntertainMe Viewz.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Jody, and I am sitting here with no one other than Lloyd. He checking in with me today on EntertainMe Viewz.
Yo.
So you know how we do. We're going to see how he kick it, how life is from his point of view.
For sure.
Checking in with your favorite people. See,
my favorite.
He was an artist.
Still am.
Okay, he still is an artist, but he got some new stuff in the works. He done started a clothing line.
Yeah.
Out here trapping it out. I be seeing you making deliveries. You like pack this, touch in,
man.
you know.
Listen, man, it's about reaching the people and the people that identify with me and identify with them. And listen, man, everybody needs Jesus.
I'm trying to have you tried them.
Listen, I most definitely have.
I most definitely have. Okay, but what you been up to? So let's talk the music real quick first.
Okay. Yeah.
What's the last? Where you at? What? The streets is waiting.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I just been tinkering. I'm not gonna lie, tinkering or jotting stuff down. But I did like put like a cold pause on the R&B for sure. And I took all my music down.
You took all your music down?
Yeah, I took it all down, man. I gave my life last year.
Okay.
Gave my life to the Lord, man. And I was just convicted. And, he was talking to me. So I was like, okay, heard. So now I'm at a point where I'm like transitioning to get into like, Christian music, Christian R&B. Okay. So that's what I'm at with. That's why I say I'm tinkering.
Okay. Yeah, so how is that going for you? Is it?
I think it's gonna be cool, man. I just been listening. Soaking up a lot of things, just listening to what's already out here. And paying attention to what's missing as well, to see where I fit in and what I'm gonna bring to it. So I think it's gonna be dope.
How you feel about the current state of gospel music?
Just like any state of music, man, it's always gonna evolve. It's gonna transform. It's gonna keep going. And I think a lot of times, a lot of us, we get caught up in, man, music back in the day used to sound like this. What y'all talking about now, it's too... Nah, man, there's a lane for everybody. That's how I feel, man, because there's an audience for everybody, too.
Yeah.
So, as people identify with...
And it got to be relatable, you know?
Yeah.
Like, hymns work.
Yeah. Hymns do work.
But...
Hymns do work.
They do work.
They do work. Boy, they do work.
Boy.
On a whole different level, but it's like, we wanna, continue to have God at our center of our life. So we don't want to be listening to a certain type of music all the time, and we're like, I want to feel that, that I can identify with. You know what I'm saying? Not saying you gotta necessarily tailor to what the world wants, because it's ultimately what God wants to put out there. But yeah, man, I like the new sound, man. It's coming off very intimate, vulnerable, and it's showing like the true relationship between a person and God. Because some of the songs I hear now, you would think that they would be talking about a specific like loved one or something, but in actuality, they already talking about God. So this is the way they put it. And I'm like, I can most definitely slide over here and go crazy. So yeah.
Slide over here and go crazy. So did anything happen that made you like...
Yeah, man, there's a lot of things, a few things, man. Just family, personal things, but to be more specific, 2022, I got arrested in New Orleans. Then just from then on, man, just things happening.
New Orleans?
Yeah.
Oh, in another state?
Yeah. Okay. We're going to get into all that, but I think that's what really prompted. Yeah. Then just ultimately, like, having a lot of death in the family. Cancer with some loved ones, and, things were hitting a whole lot close, like my stepmom. She was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. And but just a year before that, we just lost my aunt to breast cancer too.
Wow.
So, but on my dad's side and my mom's side, so it's like one of those type of things, and it was a lot, because I think my baby sister her and her husband were going to have their first child last year, but the child didn't make it, and that's around the time my stepmom got diagnosed. So it was wild. Then I think December of not last year but 23, a cousin of ours passed away in a car accident Christmas Eve. So it's a lot of things that was happening back to back simultaneously. But I say, man, to God be the glory, man. It's just,
how did you get through all of that? I know you prayed, but I'm saying like for real
though. Man, just God for sure, but also having people around you who really are genuine, who really, mean well for you, but also who gonna keep it real with you, tell you where you made your mistakes, hold you accountable, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But no judgment. They ain't talk about you. They just like, all right, So a lot of that happened, and just being able to have a space to be, vulnerable as you're going through this process of healing and changing your life. So yeah.
So how has it been since you got baptized?
Yeah, I got baptized.
did?
Yeah, actually, January 21st was my 1 year this past month. So yeah, I got baptized last year. Yeah, man. It's been a road. Yeah, but I wouldn't change it though. I wouldn't. Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Nah, man, because it's like when you give your life, you really be, you hear people talk about it, and they tell you the stories and, with their story and their walk, right? Okay, cool, yeah, man, yeah, bro, I believe in God, but, okay, it's one thing to believe in Him, but,
to walk
and to give your life is a totally different thing. And I hate to say it, man, sometimes what we be hearing out here be like prosperity gospel or they be sugarcoating, but they don't tell you the other side. When you do decide and really give your life and give your firm yes, be ready for a stripping, a pruning, a crushing, you know what I'm saying? And it's like a level of healing like I've never felt. It's like, it's been like, how can I say? It's been like beautifully complex, if I can make it make sense, cause like you start to figure out like healing hurts, but we also have to figure out, okay, just because it hurts, we got to figure out like, okay, is it healing or is it pain from an injury?
Like why does it hurt? Yeah, the root of it.
So then once you figure out why you hurting, you'll be able to figure out where I need to lean on. So instead of when we feel hurt, we normally want to get away from it because injury hurts, and we want to get away from anything that's harming us, right? Of course, but healing hurts too because it's a healing hurt because it's like it's a type of pain that's like closing up scars, closing up wounds, and that hurts as a process. And you be like, ooh, I don't want to feel that, but when you come out, I'm like, man, I needed that. Stuff that you didn't even realize you needed healing from. I was like, all right, cool.
Like, I can't believe I was walking around like this. Like, wow.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah.
Is there one thing, like, big that you didn't know that you were dealing with that God brought to your, what's the word? Brought to your child?
To my attention?
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Brought to your attention.
Yeah. It was a few things actually, but I know one of the things was family trauma. And I think most of us can identify with that because if you, and I hate to say this, I'm not saying just because we are a certain demographic or race that we just are prone to go through these things, but it just so happened we go through these things and we just so happen to be black, and most of us who are all going through these things are black, and so I didn't realize that the way I grew up was you know how you be grow, you think certain things are normal.
Mhm.
But when you start to really heal and God like remove the scales from your eyes, you're like, dang, hold on, that was toxic. That was bad.
That was
Like,
not
and
good.
we thought it was normal. So yeah, I had to do a lot of healing from like family trauma. And I'm the type of person, I love my family, man. I'm like, man, my family do this. Nah, man, they'll never, But it be stuff so deep that you don't even realize, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because your parents may love you a certain way because their parents loved them a certain way, or they didn't get that, they didn't have
Mhm.
that. Just imagine always growing up in survival mode.
No, for real.
That's tough, man.
And never even realize you in it. First of all.
Can't even, man. So yeah, so it's like when you're in survival mode, you give love a different way,
Mhm.
and in most cases, they give love by providing, and they feel like if I'm providing, you should know I love you. You
That's
know what
enough.
I'm
Yeah. No.
saying?
Like I
But
need to hear it.
yeah, yeah. But of course, I'm being surface right now. But of course, it's deeper than that.
No, I
What I
understand.
had to really come to terms with. But yeah, man, because I didn't grow up in church, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. I lived with my mama. I used to live with my mama. Well, growing up, I lived with my mama. But I
Mhm.
always would go visit my dad. My dad, you know, was married, and I had other brothers and sisters, and I also had like other brothers on my mama's side too. But it's just a difference.
Where'd you grow up at?
I'm originally from Dublin, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, but I always will be back and forth from East Atlanta, like
Okay.
Glenwood, because my dad used to live there.
Mhm.
And then eventually, they moved out the city, kind of like on the outskirts of the city. But so yeah, man, just stuff like just seeing stuff on both sides
Mhm.
and being the oldest on both sides and having a level of expectations. But sometimes, you know, when your parents have you young, that you growing up with them, so
Mhm.
they can only give you what they got, and they can only do with what they got. Well, the best they can. So
Mhm.
it's like I'm growing up with y'all.
Right.
So so it's like experiencing that type of stuff, and I know I'm being surface, but stuff get hard, bro. Stuff get
Yeah.
hard, man. Like my mama sacrificed her life, bro, and dropped out of high school, 15. My grandma was in prison. She was taking care of my aunt and my uncle,
Mm.
and she was pregnant with me. So just imagine, having to fight through all that, come up out of that, then be the first to graduate high school, go to college, then graduate college.
Mhm.
So it's like people had a level of expectation for you, but they didn't know how to pour into you,
Right.
and that stuff hurts more than you realize.
Mhm.
And as a man, you just feel like, nah, bro, no, I'm straight. I don't care about none of that.
Mhm.
I'm supposed to be holding that type of way. I'm supposed to be doing it like that.
Mhm.
But then you get 29, you get 30, you get 31. You're like, damn, you never had a space to be vulnerable. You never had a space to have certain conversations. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and there's certain things you don't even know about your family's past. So it's like
Mhm.
all that type of stuff. But when I gave my life, God was like, listen, man, it's me and you. And he said, your mama can't do it, your daddy can't, whoever. And me and you. And it
Mhm.
hurts because, he separates you. Damn, he prune you, break you down
All the
all the
way.
way.
Look, all the way. Yes.
So, yeah.
Were you like living alone or alone during this time, or?
Well, at that time, I was. Then I let one of my youngest brother, one of my younger brothers, come live with me.
Mhm.
Then my sister came and lived with me for a little second. It was just better me and my bro.
So how
Um,
did you find like the space? I was trying to figure out like, so what did that?
so I'm the type of person, man. Especially when COVID hit, when we had to be in the house.
Oh.
Hey, if I'm gonna be home, I'm gonna make home the spot. If I'm gonna be at the crib, so I use every inch of my place. I'm like, listen, if I'm paying rent here, I'm here. So um, my brother, like, he had a TV in his room. I was like, no, I don't want a TV in the room. Put my TV in the living room. So I'm in the living room blasting sermons,
But
blasting sermons and trying to learn as much as possible, reading. Then one of my friends, um, young lady who I was dating at the time, she was like, come to a prophetic night with her at this church, and I went, and some stuff was said to me that I knew was only but God knew, and that was like December of 2023, and that's what really prompted me, like, nah, I'm gonna lock in and go serious with pursuing God, cause
this man just or woman just.
cause it's like I'm gonna be over here, cause I felt how it was over there.
So you started going to church on your own.
So the thing is, like I said, I never really grew up in church, but when I would come visit my dad was a powerful man of God. He old school though, You need people like that. But every time I would come up, he's lecturing to me and my brothers and sisters about something, and basically giving us preaching to us. And I didn't realize how much I needed it at the time, being young. But now when I got older, I understand what he was saying. Like, it's a woof. But that's what really got me. Every time, he would put a bug in my ear every time, or he'd tell me, and I'm like, okay. So as I'm getting older, hearing more about God, learning more about God, and seeing God move in your life, like, hold up, God, yeah. So, so then just as you learn more, as you get more into scripture, it's like, okay, nah, this is the right way to do it. Okay. Then you start to see, oh yeah, I was over here, just in my flesh. I'm like, ooh, it was fun, but it don't feel
Come
good.
with
It
stuff
don't
too.
feel good after, man. It drains you, man. So, um, yeah, and like I said, it was just so much was happening at the time. Losing family, losing jobs, up and down with the entrepreneurship. You know what I'm saying? Losing relationships, falling out with family. Apartment building caught on fire. So it just was a lot happening.
Wow.
So, and
Okay.
but God was seeing me through every time, and that's what made me want to keep running to Him. And
That's real.
but yeah, it's an everyday walk though. I ain't perfect. That's why I don't come off to nobody like condemning them. Like, hey, bro, I know how it is out here. Ain't nobody really ever. You know what I'm saying?
So you find out like what you had going on and spiritually, you
Yeah,
need the healing.
for sure.
A lot of stuff had to do with your family. Did you have to have like conversations after the veil was released from you with those people, or did
Yeah.
you just?
Nah, most definitely hard conversations were had. I didn't like it. I didn't want to do it. But it was needed, and that's how, and I think that's how I kind of fell out with some family. I don't want to say fell out. We kind of just
Separated.
gave each other some time.
Love them from a distance.
Yeah,
Yes.
and but it was like people were like real close to me, and I never thought that we'll be at this point where we can't have a conversation and you not understand what I'm saying and what I'm trying to convey to you. But then I had to learn like you know everybody is at a different place and a different level until you get there. But in order to get there, you know, it takes God. So a lot of prayer.
Yeah.
So it's and after having those conversations, it was a lot of forgiveness, a lot of apologies. I'm saying amending because bro, it's life too short. Like I love you. You know what I'm saying? So if I really love you, I don't wanna like. I'm hurt. I'm hurt right now. I'm be real. I'm hurt, but I don't think that should cause us to just like do away with each other forever. Like if a conversation could be had and something can be changed through a conversation, let's do that. Life too short. And I think, and God, the way God do, He work in hindsight because just seeing how much people I was losing and just the the time frame in between, it just puts things in a different perspective. Like, your life ain't your life, and you ain't got the time that you think you got out here with the people you sitting across. So let's make it right.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what that was.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about this new music. I really can't wait to hear it.
Me too,
I'm
man.
like, oh yes.
Guess what? Me too.
You know what? Me too.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be dope. I ain't put no word on it. I ain't been too much with it. How I go about my day. Hey, God show me who to pray for, what to pray for, how to go about my day. So however you want the song to go, that's how he gonna want it to go. But nah, man, I've been writing some stuff, man. I'm gonna get back in the booth real soon. I think how I'm gonna do it though, man, I'm gonna just, small little project, a little EP, a little 5-track sample. Then, just dropping singles and visuals and product around that. And try to touch the people in a different way. Like probably doing some pop-up shops, some little intimate, shows where, we can all do those things at once,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Fellowship. A good fellowship. Led by Brother Lloyd.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got your God base.
Yeah.
How to do a smooth transition.
I'm sick of you, man.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I got our hat. Make sure you see it. Let's get into it, though.
Yeah.
So how you came up with the brand?
Sitting down at the table with my folks. Yeah, man. My dad and my stepmom, they're into like real estate. So, just flipping houses and stuff like that. But my dad's one of those people, like, he want to have like family meetings and discuss like, okay, the direction of where we going, what's the next thing we want to invest in, things of that nature. So one day we was having one of those meetings and, just talking about ideas, and I think we got on talking about clothing brands and faith-based clothing brands, and that's really how this name came about. Of course, God be the glory, but and it's pretty much just been growing, evolving as I've been going with it, because it's really teaching me something versus me building it. It's teaching me, it's building me really. So yeah, it's God based, man, because it's God based because when I'm with Him, I feel safe. He's my source, anchor, and foundation. He's the ultimate source I draw from. His word is like an anchor that keeps me steadfast. And he's a cornerstone in which I build my life upon, the foundation of my life upon. So, and this is just me showcasing people that you can still be who you are and love the Lord. And I got that from my dad.
Yeah.
He's so country. He'll say something like, you can still go to the movies, go to the mall.
You can still go to the mall.
But it's something to that because, I don't want to be anyone else. It's less energy being yourself, and well, the easiest way for me to be is the way God made me. So let's go over here.
Freedom.
And I'm just showing people like when you get your life, man, you ain't got to be out here in a suit and tie, all clean and well. He gonna clean you as you go.
Yeah.
Let's say that, but it's not perfection. It's progression. And people think, oh man, I gotta get myself together, then I'm gonna come to God. If you get yourself together, then you don't need God.
You don't need God.
So.
And then you gonna pick and choose what you think you need to get together. Hold on, that ain't even it.
Yeah. So, and shoot, man, and I'm just being who I am, and I know people. I know my people gonna identify with that. So I'm like, all right, bet. I can't change who I am. This is how I grew up, but I still love the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
So that's why I know people probably think like, man, this man looking like he trapping out faith-based merch or whatever. I'm like,
did have the trap.
I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
So, okay, what was the first thing you did? You said, okay, I'm gonna do this clothing line.
Oh, the first thing I did, you know, like everybody, you go get some t-shirts.
Oh, you did the
t-shirt. And then you press them.
Oh, did you already know how to do all that? Or you
nah,
had to learn
I literally been learning this stuff as I go.
Oh, what you use? A Cricut? What you did?
When I first started, I went to somebody.
Okay.
And they knocked my head off. I said, all right.
Ooh.
I said, all right. But it was a last minute thing. Then, yeah, I said, yeah, I gotta learn this thing. But then you started, growing with it, you start seeing a little more, like start looking to manufacturers, and you start seeing how all that stuff goes. Then you start seeing about when you start getting to the actual clothing, like fabrics, color codes, and seasons. It's like, ooh, trends. It's like, I'm like, God, I don't think I want no clothing. I never really wanted a clothing brand for real. I used to talk about it, like, hold up, clothing brand. He was like, if you gonna wear me, you gotta represent me right. And I'm like,
that's true.
So it's not necessarily about the clothing. Clothing is just a conversation piece. That's about it.
What's the conversation? You want to just...
The conversation always about God.
About the Lord. But I will say, y'all, when I asked him how he was doing, he didn't say blessed and highly favored. So you don't have to, that don't have to be an immediate response neither. You can say I'm doing fine,
Yeah, man.
So have you had like a conversation or like brought somebody to Christ, basically like one of your friends, somebody who was like, wow, and now?
Well, how I look at it, as far as like, you said, have I brought somebody to Christ? I just be me, and I just live it out. And through that, yeah, my mom, most definitely now.
That's a blessing. Look, I was about to.
Yeah, man. Answer prayers, man.
Start running. No, that is.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Just to see my mom, how she is in church now, and how she is hungry, on fire for the Lord, and just to realize that, having certain conversations with my mom, and she was saying like, just like I told you, I never grew up in church. She never really grew up in church at all. So she never pursued God like how she is before, So to see that and see the change, and I'm like, all right, God, answer prayers. Because to me, I feel like it's breaking generational curses. I know everybody say it all the time, so it sounds so cliche.
But it's real.
But it's so for real. It's so for real. Like, if I can really sit down with you and tell you, like, my well, not necessarily my life, but my folks' life, and I'm not one of those type of people to, brag about how hard we had it, because that ain't fun.
Right.
And also, there's some other people out there who had it harder, but my folks' life, man, I joke around like, boy, if Tyler Perry ever hear y'all story, y'all can make some money.
Wow.
So you just think about it, growing up in, middle Georgia, South, and just certain things that, people had experienced at a certain time. That stuff carries on, man. Like, it carries on through generations, and like, it's just crazy.
No, it definitely
that's
gets
the best I
passed
can
down.
say. Yeah.
For real. Okay, so where can they buy your merch at?
So listen, man, right now, man. So like she said, man, y'all saw me trapping out the clothing, cause I don't want to say merch. It's clothing.
Oh, clothing, my bad.
So right now, no, you're fine. You're good. So right now, just like how most trappers do, you can hit me directly. So if not on God-based clothing on Instagram, you can hit me on my Instagram, 5-letter Lloyd, and yeah, man, I like to touch the people, and I think they like that too. They like that, because everybody's online shopping.
They are.
There's something missing.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you for coming through, sharing your story, dropping them gems, putting me on.
Hey man,
I gotta go
listen, man.
research.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm glad I appreciate you for inviting me. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
I like it. I like it.
Keep moving, and y'all make sure y'all go get the hats. We got hats, t-shirts.
No t-shirts
you
yet.
ain't got shirts. I thought you saw some. You had a picture of a shirt.
I revamped. So with the revamp, I'm just pushing hats right now.
Okay.
Then we're gonna be dropping t-shirts and other pieces bit by bit throughout the year.
Okay.
So keep tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Because I want my t-shirt.
I got you.
Next.
I got you.
But I definitely appreciate you for coming through.
Yeah.
And I appreciate y'all for tuning in again. Like, it's already, whatever. It's your girl, Jody, and you have watched another episode of EntertainMe Viewz. Make sure you head over to EntertainMeJody.com to subscribe so you can always stay up to date with the latest in the news, trending topics, exclusive content with your favorite people. Find out what they doing out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Tap in. And let them know again where they can follow you at on Instagram.
So Instagram, you can follow me on number 5 letter _ Lloyd, 5 letter Lloyd, LLOYD, and God-based clothing as well. And yeah, that's where I'm at, man. Tune in, tap in, man. I'll take care of you.